Back in the shop. I haven't had time to film a whole lot. I've got a few little videos still haven't done anything with to put up, and this one might not get put up for a while, but got our 87 GMC. It's got, 5 yard. I put about 7 yards in this thing. But it's a good little dump truck, but it had the wrong carburetor in it. It's a 366 GMC or Chevy. I don't know much about these engines. They're tall deck, so I guess they're probably a stroke 350 or something. I don't know. Anyway, these engines don't like to see much above 3,000 RPM, somewhere in there. Again, uneducated on these, but they're supposed to have a electronic or vacuum kind of governor that'll slam the secondary throttle blades, maybe the primaries, I'm not sure. It'll slam those shut in the event that you try to over rev it. So it did have, shop's a disaster, but did have this other Holley on it. It's a decent carburetor, probably would have worked just fine. Everything's been plugged off, and there was the screen for the inlet was just completely plugged with shit. So I don't know if we're getting stuff in the tank, but I put a inline filter right over there. We'll check it here after a few miles, but anyhow, we got this carb. It was cheap. Here's a few pictures. And it was filthy, so we got a rebuild kit. We did have what was a somewhat local carb shop. They did a good job rebuilding them. Any carb, I guess. They did a terrific job. And these things aren't, it's not rocket science. Rebuild transmissions, engines, whatever, but they were cheap to have them rebuild them. For my time, it takes me a while. I do shit right. It took me 2 days to really rebuild this thing. I mean, not 2 days of standing over it hovering, but take it apart, put everything in something, let it soak. It has a gallon of that carburetor chem dip, but you can only pretty much get the parts in there, the body and the lower housing or the lower plate. That sat in a blue tank out there is full of old diesel and gas and solvents and all kinds of shit, so I like to soak stuff in that. It's like 120 degrees out there in that barrel, so it works just as good. Got everything cleaned up, put it back together, and it was 2 days later. So for the price we're getting these rebuilt, it's better have somebody else do it. Again, this isn't my truck. I'm just a monkey with a wrench. So he figured my time was more valuable doing something, others can't do, which I agree with. But now we had another international dump truck, and we had the carb on it sent out, and to the same people. They moved about an hour away from us. So we took it up there, and they did not do a good job. So didn't want to use them again. And it was just a 2-barrel carb, a little Holley 2-barrel, and one of our international dump trucks got a international V8 in it. I forget what it is, 392 or I don't know, 345, something, I don't know. Anyhow, they did a shit job on it. So that was $400 and something to have them rebuild it, plus my time to drive up, go get it, and drive it back. This kit, I don't know what the rebuild kit was, but they're not expensive. Carb was $150, or that's what the tag said that was on it. I don't know what my boss actually paid for it, but wish I made that kind of money, rebuilding carbs. But anyhow, got it rebuilt. Works just fine. However, I cannot find the vacuum diagram for 366 with this, you know, with this governor that's on it. So that little, I forget what the book calls it. I got it behind me here. Yeah, it's here somewhere. Anyway, it needs to, there's something in between that and its source signal, TXV valve, or some sort of solenoid, I'm assuming. I don't have the vacuum diagram, can't find one online. I've got the hood, or the hood of the cleaner from our other truck with the 366, which also has the same governor. So you don't have that TRC, and it's called the throttle leveler actuator. It just bumps up the throttle a little bit is all it does. Missing that air pump. We don't have 2 canisters on ours. So not the same. You know, the air's been disconnected, deleted, crimped off. That was how we received the truck, so it is what it is. But we got the correct carb on there. The alternator's not working, so I gotta yank the alternator off and go from there. But so far, you know, this carb rebuild has been successful, I'd say. Even with the vacuum lines not being correct. So if you sit here, don't do anything, it's got that kind of low idle, that throttle lever actuator isn't seeing a good vacuum signal right now. As soon as it sees it, holds the idle up. So I believe what's supposed to happen, that TRC valve is, I don't know, I'd have to look into it, but it's just being actuated at the wrong time right now. However, I believe the governor is working. Alternator's not. Tachometer's not, but when I dig into it, it'll climb, and then this, but it's not a very high RPM. It may sound like it over this phone, but it's not. It sounds like it's 3,000-ish, somewhere in there. You know, it's nowhere near 5,000, I'll tell you that. That's all the way in it. So governor seems to be working. I know let's see if it'll come on here. Somewhere in here there's a light that'll come on, says over rev. If you're going, you know, if you're making her party, you know, headed downhill with a load or something, too low a gear, and the RPMs get too high up, a little over rev will come on. And it was coming on with the old carburetor. If you would just stab it, you know, the engine sounded like it was going to come apart, and that red light would come on. The dash said over revving or something. So that's fixed. We're going to fix the alternator. I'm supposed to be receiving a new dash for this here pretty quick. New steering wheel and cover. The owner really likes this truck. You know, I don't blame him. It's one of the nicer trucks, all things considered. Not street legal, but you know, that's not how we dabble. So, not a fan of the metal sides. I like the wood sides, so you can kind of beat them up, not have to worry so much. But the other thing, I saw some oil and shit, and I figured it was from the Ram coming down, and this, you know, bullshit vent cap that we kind of just threw on there. You know, and it started smelling like gear oil. And then it, you know, and I saw that. Oh, shit. Oh, dick. What the fuck? So that's gonna be a good time. That's why I don't like driving the nicer trucks that we have. Oh, that needs some... You know what? I'm gonna shoot a commercial for Freeall right now. Don't forgive, I don't care, it's my mess. Today's Friday, so if I wasn't doing this, I'd be cleaning this fucking pigsty. You know, I would edit this out, but this is... You get to see it. Where's my Freeall? Bingo. There ain't much left. I mean, almost nothing. But this shit right here, I mean, I hope they don't get... And, you know, I got that shit out of here. I'll fucking run that over. What? I don't know. Just hit it all. This stuff right here is the truth. Yeah, hit whatever. What the fuck that is. I don't know. Work it. Look at that. Look at that. I don't like how sticky that is. Rocket. You got rocket barb. Freeall is the business. I pick up every can I can, when I can, if I can. But we'll be back with the silent door. Freeall. What's up with a few free cans, and we'll make this whole thing silent. We'll make it a stealth dump truck. Huh?